It's your boy, Ed the Dread, aka Eddie Money Mouth, and you are tuned in to the Money Mouth Podcast. Yes, sir. Burr, 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 burr. Welcome to your Money Mouth Monday. How's everybody feeling today? Best day of my life since yesterday of my life. Today's topic will be what to take away from the so-called TikTok ban. Woo! If you've been sleeping under a rock and or living on a rock in a jungle, you may or may not have heard about the ban on the social media app TikTok, if you even know what TikTok is. Just kidding, I'm sure you do. But with the new exchange in presidency, Scrump and them have allowed TikTok to continue. There was about a 12-hour window where I think it wasn't accessible for people. I didn't try to go on it during that window. And then when I thought about it, I was like, oh, let me try and go on it and see what happens. And then Trump had already signed this new proclamation or whatever. And it had said when I logged in, hey, thanks to President Trump, we're back. So I never even saw what it said when you couldn't go or what had happened when you couldn't go. But apparently it was banned for like 12 hours. And people were pissed. I would say the most pissed were creators that make their livelihood off of it because they thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm never going to make any money again. But since the initial, speaking of having a ban and the bill going through the House, the Senate, and then going across Biden's desk, and then new president jumping in and redacting all of that, like I said, we should just talk about a few things that you can take away from this whole scenario. Now, first and foremost, I'll talk about how I ended up seeing TikTok and joining TikTok. Both happened being a school teacher. I was teaching at Hana School, middle school math, and on a Friday, all the kids were normal, hating school, hating math, hating me, hating everything. And then on Monday, they came back hating math, hating school, hating me, hating everything, but doing these dances. And I was like, what the fuck just happened to everybody? And they were like, yo, mister, you got to get on TikTok. It's this thing, da 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 da. And I was like, yeah, y'all motherfuckers is crazy. So for about, I don't know, 2-3 years, I ignored it. I stayed the fuck away from TikTok. I hated every dance that I saw people doing, and I just couldn't stand what was going on. After about 2 years, I was now teaching in a high school scenario over at Baldwin, and I was the statistics teacher. I gave the students a statistical assignment, which was to create, some sort of questions that you had to have answered, and then you were going to put that in graph format and explain it, right? So it took me about 15 minutes to 20 minutes to explain the thing. Class was about 45 minutes or so, and between two periods of classes, there were two groups that had their surveys done before the end of the class. So I was tripping out. I was like, how did you get the survey done? And they said TikTok and Instagram, right? They just posted these questions on these two apps, and then hundreds of kids from around the school during the school day, when they should be in their class doing some other shit, were answering these freaking survey questions. So I kind of realized the power of TikTok at that time, and then I joined it. Right. So, with that said, apparently our government clearly hates it. Right. It's an app that is very popular, super viral, and it's not owned by the U.S. government. It's owned by it's privately owned by a Chinese company. I believe it's called ByteDance. But our government is up in arms about TikTok. It's got a better algorithm than any American-owned social media platforms. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, blase, blase. I don't even know what Reddit. I don't even know if there are any other American-owned social media apps. LinkedIn, maybe, that have a chance. But nothing like TikTok. Um, our government hates TikTok because it's not traded publicly on the US stock exchange. If you follow any politicians and their investments, they tend to invest maybe even early because they know some shit's going to happen because they behind the scenes, but they tend to invest in companies that they know are going to do well, and or that they know their legislation is going to help to do well. And TikTok just ain't one of them. Again, privately owned by a Chinese company, never going to be traded on the stock exchange. Well, we'll not never say never to nothing. All right. Third reason why our government hates TikTok is because it's Chinese, privately owned. They cannot censor it. Right. One thing that was great, horrible and great at the same time, was that when U.S. media outlets, whether it's big media like the television, news broadcast, and or Facebook, Instagram, other things American own, um, there was censorship and or storylines being told as opposed to just the footage of the genocide in Gaza. Right? There was footage from the war in Ukraine or the special military operation in Ukraine. Uh, Things that you just would never get to see without a skewed view, that were readily available just because a homie had their phone in their hand and could post it on that shit. So again, our government definitely can't stand TikTok. Better algorithm, not owned by America and can't buy stock in it and can't censor it. So come on, bro. It's the American way. We gotta have a say in it or it ain't happening, right? Uh Now, with that said, there was a big push to have it banned. I personally don't know where the start came from, but I know this much that the legislation was quick and bipartisan. So, like, we got Republicans, we've got Democrats, and usually they fight against about a bunch of shit, right? Oh, abortion, we fucking hate each other. We can't stand this. Immigration, we can't stand it. We hate each other. We can't see eye to eye. Healthcare, we hate each other. We can't see eye to eye. Banning a fucking social media app from another country, come together quick as fuck, bro. It was the craziest shit you could ever imagine. Now, I don't recall the Schoolhouse Rock song on how a bill gets passed into a law or whatever, but I'm pretty sure it has to go through like the Senate first and then the House and then to the president's desk, right? So the Senate voted on it or maybe it's the House then the Senate. But either way, the Senate vote to ban TikTok was 79 to 18. 79 to 18. All right? That's vast majority. Doesn't matter what side you're on, you wanted it banned. The House vote, oh, you're going to trip on this one. The House vote to ban TikTok, 352 for, 65 against. 362 or 352 to 65. Like, you see what I'm saying? These fools can't fucking get a vote on nothing together except to ban TikTok. Now, Biden said at that point, I can't really see straight or walk, but fucking if this thing gets across the desk of the Senate and across the House, then once it touches my desk, I'm just gonna sign it. And that motherfucker did. Right? I I don't know the exact specifications of when the ban was supposed to go into effect, but it definitely seemed like a stupid fucking political play where like we're going to make this happen so that it's like either if I win the election or my incumbent, my vice president wins the election, this is going to be the thing we start our fucking year off with and make it happen. If we don't, it leaves it to the next guy to fucking figure out, fuck it up or not for the country. So the election happens, Scrump takes office, and then what he does is puts a 75-day executive order in place where he's like, all right, listen up, dogs. We ain't banning TikTok. You know why? Because I got on the platform and I like it. But because it's Chinese owned, now we don't think that y'all spying on us through the app because there's drones everywhere and, we spying on you and whatever. But it needs to have some sort of American input. So we're going to have you giving us like 50% ownership or something along those lines, or the shit will get banned. Or if we don't ban it, we're going to throw you like, I don't know, 30% higher trade tariffs or some shit like that. Because that's Trump's play, dog. He's like a businessman. You know what I'm saying? All y'all think he's a politician. That motherfucker is not a politician. He's just a fucking shisty businessman who jumped up into politics. So everything he gonna do to try to fuck with other countries is gonna have to be like, yo, well, we buy shit from you. And do you want to pay more in taxes, tariffs, or do you just not want us to buy shit from you? Because fuck y'all. So, for all of you Groms that are out there using TikTok and have no clue about government, about how bills and legislation happens, pay attention. Because like I said, these three things you might find repeat themselves throughout your whole life if you stay in America. First thing to take away from the ban on TikTok: if it ain't from America and we can't have our hands in it, and it's better than some shit that we got going on, we getting rid of it. Okay? Just can't happen. Not happening. A number one supreme, Team America. Your shit's better than ours and we ain't got a piece of it. Go fuck yourself. Can't have it. Second thing to take away from the ban on TikTok is our fucking government can come together and figure shit out when it's some bullshit and not some shit that takes, precedent for our people. It's like I said, there's a lot of topics that they can't fucking come together on that have way more to do with the American public than a fucking social media app. But when it comes to a social media app, and also let's not forget that inside that legislation was like a $97 billion deal for Ukraine and Israel. So again, both sides just came together. So simple, easiest vote they ever did. But when it's something that actually can help and or better the American people, they gonna fucking fight and not care about you and or me. You know what I'm saying? Third thing to take away from this whole TikTok ban is that politicians are full of shit. Right? Trump was sitting there on the other side before he became the president again. He was like, yeah, I am backing this ban. Man, fuck China. We can't have them spying on us. We got to keep our shit. If you look at LC Lightbox guy, China. The motherfucker was all about China. And then he takes office and he's like, oh shit. Well, yeah, I like the app. I've been on it now. Fuck it. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it. We'll figure something out. We're gonna keep it. You know what I mean? So it don't matter which one you're talking about, right? I'm gonna give it 95% of politicians are just full of shit. They're gonna tell the general mass public what they need to hear to make them want to know whatevers. Right? Lastly, I saw a clip of people who had gone to some other app, some other Chinese freaking social media app, and like, damn, yo, I'ma just say you should look that up. Because people were like crying. They were like, our government doesn't care about us. Like, they were seeing how good Chinese people have it. At least how good they're portraying it on their social media app, and they're just like, yo, what the fuck? How come they got healthcare? Like, how come the fucking people are tripping out? They're like, I got these new Chinese friends, and they're telling me how bad my country is. And it's like, so it makes you think, because your whole life people go, oh, these fucking commies, it's fucking communism, they're coming. But what is community? I don't know. Maybe they're not walking all over each other over there. Who knows, right? But I will leave you with this. The best quote that I got from that clip of people crying about being on this other app and seeing, Chinese people living their lives better than American people. What a number of people said that the Chinese folks told them about Americans is that, we have a voice, but we have no choice. I'm going to leave you with that. Click like, click subscribe. It's your boy Ed the Dread, a.k.a. Eddie Money Mouth on your Money Mouth Monday. Coming back next week, baby. Oh, hooey ho, Kako.